footnotes. I don't know if it works. That's good. I like to be very explicit about it. Because you've done X means you care. Or that shows you care. Demonstrates. So that could be complex equivalent. All right, the next three words we're going to play with.
Do you differentiate between indirect and direct when you're doing your pattern?
Oh, I only differentiate when I'm teaching it. Because I want you to understand the difference. Functionally, they're close enough to be the same thing.
Yeah.
This is what I call the wonderful world of direct commands. There's only three. Stop. Start. And now.
So what were these again?
These are direct commands. Maria, if you could just stop. Is your name Maria?
Yes.
Yeah. So what did she have when I said stop?
Stop.
She stopped. What's your name again, Sharon?
Rebecca.
Rebecca, I'm sorry. Rebecca, just stop and start to focus on my words. And as you do, begin now to understand that I'm talking directly to you in a way that gets your attention. Now, what happened to your internal processes when I said stop? Exactly. Using the word stop very strongly will cause, for a brief second, all the mental processes in that person's mind to stop. The mind will go momentarily into confusion a lot of times, and if you give it what to do next, it will do it. So you follow, start inevitably follows stop. So you have them stop the train of thought they're on and start to think in the direction you want them to think. Now, when do you want them to do it? Now. Yeah. This is really, really powerful. So just stop and recognize how you can use this. Now.
All right.
So if you did, yes.
Well, you have to be, because stop to me is a very alarming, which I know it's meant to be. So would it be different if you said, if you stop that way of thinking?
If you want to soften it,
Yeah.
which I know you're worried about it being too blunt,
Yeah.
you don't have to go, stop! That would be like a pattern interrupt, like from hell.
Right.
But if you said, what was your name again?
Diane.
Diane, if you can just stop and start to recognize that you don't have to yell to make this work. And begin now to realize that incorporating this into any time somebody gives you an objection or starts to move their mind in a direction that isn't helpful, you can simply get them back on track using stop, starting now.
Thank you.
You could even be more gentle and say, you may find yourself stopping now and starting to think about it.
That's a very permissive way. A little too wimpy.
You want to be wimpy.
Yeah. Wimpy's good. Some people do not like very strong, authoritative approaches. But I find that I want to stop their process. And that's usually what I'm going for. When I use stop, start now, they're starting to riff in a direction I really don't want to go. And a lot of times I find that by the time I say if you may, or if you were to, they're already further down the path than I want them to go. So I'll just have to stop. And people go, huh? What? And that's what you want. And I understand what you're saying. But start now to recognize this. Now. And as you do, I want you to think of all the reasons how what I can say and what I can do for you can make a powerful difference in your life. And as you do that, that means you're ready for change. Right? Okay. I have to blow holes in some of this stuff so you guys realize what I'm doing. And when I do this a lot for the sleepwalkers up in LA, I'll start riffing for like 2 or 3 minutes, and I'm having a good old time, and I think everybody's catching what I'm doing, and I look at the crowd and they're like, and you see a little drool. Yeah. And at the end they think, man, that was a great seminar. What did I learn? And then I say, well, do this, and they do it, and it works. So if you're feeling a little bit, that's the process. It means you're getting it.
I've heard now just used by itself. Like, what is now the best time?
That's what we're getting to next. Now. Now is when I do what I call conversational fractionation. You'll notice when I start to riff, when I start to really just start to flow with my language, and you guys go, yeah, Yeah, I don't know what you're saying, but damn, it feels good. Yeah. Every now and then I'll stop. And I'll go, now. And when I do that, where does your attention go? Right back to me. You stop thinking about what was going on inside your head. You become focused on now. When that happens, everything that I said prior to now is accepted uncritically. Because what I'm doing is I'm changing your focus of awareness. A lot of times you'll discover after I do the word now, you can't remember the exact words I used. But you understood the message. And it felt good because the words I used, I hate to use this metaphor, but it's the only one that seems to fit. The words, a lot of times when I use certain types of language patterns, are inherently hollow. The meanings that you ascribe to these words are uniquely your own. Because they're your own, you don't resist it. If I were to get hyper-specific and tell you what I meant by each and every single word that I said, you would find a million reasons to find a difference between what I'm saying and what you believe I'm saying. Or what I believe and what you believe I'm saying. But I don't want that. Now. Notice what happened. You come back to now. Every now and then you'll see people go, I'll say now and they'll go, okay. Because they're lost in thought. And it feels good to be there. And as long as you're continuing to feel good, you'll continue to learn. And as you continue to learn, you'll continue to grow in power. And as you continue to grow in power, you'll realize more happiness, more wealth, more success in every aspect of your personal life. Now, doesn't that make sense? Okay. So what I want you to do now, I love now, by the way. I use now like some people use Do you ever hear anything I record, or when you see me on stage, you'll almost never hear me go, unless I'm really just, kind of floundering. But you'll hear me go, now. And every time I do, everybody's attention goes right on me. Everything that was going on in their head that they might have been analyzing before gets right in. What's the definition of hypnosis? Bypass of the critical factor and the setup of acceptable selective thinking. Using what I've given you now, you can create beliefs, you can change beliefs, you can change the direction of a thought that a person's having, or a train of thought, and you can redirect them where you want them to go. When can you do it? Now. That's called compliance. Okay? Little thing. Get your people doing small things for you as soon as possible. It's called the law of compliance. The more somebody does something for you, the more likely they are to continue to do things for you. So as a hypnotist, you see this on stage all the time, but in the treatment room it's no different. You do a lot of suggestibility tests. The first thing you do when they get up, if you're smart, you're going to do like the levitating hands or whatever, put up booking candle, heavy hand, light hand. First thing you do is you correct them. The reason you correct them is because you want to establish that you're the boss, you're the authority, and you know exactly how it's supposed to be done. It's outside their conscious awareness that that's what you're doing. They just know that they had their hands like this and you made them do this. Okay, this is how I need to do it. You've set up authority. You've also set up compliance. Small compliance. How do you eat an elephant? Hopefully with mustard. One bite at a time. Okay? Small compliances lead to larger ones. So by the time you're actually ready to put them in trance, you should run them 3 to 5 different things where they had to get up, move around. Maybe they're sitting in one chair, you have them sit in the other chair. They pick up a certain pen, say, no, use this pen. Little things. Sets up compliance. You're already the authority figure. They came to you for help. You're in an environment where they're conducive to following your instructions. I know CEOs who do this. I know lawyers who do this. Is it hypnosis?
Do it all the time.
Huh?
Policemen.
Oh, sure. They can get away with it because they get this badge and a gun. But they'll tell you, stand over here, do this, do that. They want you getting, they get compliance from the moment they see you. Do the same. You don't have to be threatening to do it. You can be very gentle and soften everything you do. Would you mind sitting over here? Good. Uncross your legs, please. Thanks, great. You're doing great. Oh, use this pen, it's better. Space of 30 seconds, 3 compliances. Okay. Very easy to set up. Now, as you go into trance today, you'll discover a feeling of relaxation. What are they going to do? Well, you've set a direction. If you follow my instructions, you'll quickly get the results you want, and you'll recognize them. How many people are nodding right now? You know, because that's how simple it can be. I love to spout like cool little sayings in here. This one's not appropriate for the I'm screwed. You got to change the tape. All right, let's take a 10 or 15 minute break.